exterior village Lingard, and it's the end of the last season. Then we have exterior forest at night, Ran and Hunter on their horseback, and 3 Kanath archers come after them, shooting arrows. Hey, welcome to the Ren Writers Retreat. We have decided that we've been working on these scripts for almost a year and they've been improving and getting so much better, and character development and all this amazing stuff. But because we're all working separately and coming together every so often for big meetings where we completely jumble everything up and then send ourselves off again, we felt we're getting so close to getting something really good at the moment. And the best way to do that is to try and get our writers team into a proper writers room, really. And so we've taken ourselves off for a longish weekend to a lovely little cottage in East Anglia and just working on the scripts, basically.
What is this, Claire?
This is my attempts to rationalise a fight with a few combatants in it. Making sure that everybody ends up in the right place at the end of the fight.
Madonna says, my apologies, Sol, but if what I've heard is true, we must all be extra vigilant. We've just finished talking through episodes 1 and 2. We're about to move on to episode 3, which I did a version of, Kate's had another look at, and we're going to see how those 2 versions together work.
Madness and the soldiers.
So I share a flat with Kate, and she'd been trying to write season 2 for a while. Didn't seem to be happening.
Before this experience, I have definitely felt like when I've stared at a blank piece of paper, it's terrified me, and I felt like I had no ideas, and I have always felt that I needed someone else to riff off. So have an idea, can't get it down on paper very easily. Have someone else start the process, start the page from not being blank anymore, and then gives me a springboard for leaping to the next level.
So I said, look, can I help? Is there some way to make this happen? And we sat down and we drew an outline for the season out of Kate's head on a whiteboard, and then I started to bring in other people.
I really like the idea of working with 4 different people to spread the load around, but also have the ideas of 3 other different people, so you're not just on one path the whole time and you're sort of challenged on your thoughts and ideas. I think the tavern could still work because it makes sense, that's where you'd meet someone, but it could be interesting if it's a shop or something. But
we certainly don't want to risk doing 2 things that look the same.
Yeah. Barbecue! Woo, barbecue!
The horse pulling the cart comes to a stop by the bridge. The bridge guard, Sergeant Everly, steps forward.
Password and papers.
Blackleaf.
I knew that Claire would probably do a great job of it because she did a great job of so many other things on season 1.
I ended up involved in Ren because I used to do historical reenactment, and I had an email from somebody in my reenactment group saying there was this film happening in Cambridge, and they wanted people that looked medieval to turn up and be extras. It was just around the corner from where I lived, so I thought, I'll go along, see what happens. And then somehow I never left, and they never told me to go away. And almost 5 years to the day later, I've just finished writing some episodes. So everything in between's a blur, but a good blur. So it's day 2 of the Writers' Retreat, and now we are about to start looking at episode 5, which is obviously the most important episode of the season, because that's what brings everything together, so we want to make sure we get it right. So we want a moment for each of the 4 main people that satisfies some aspect of their emotional journey over the course of the season.
Is everything that's needed in there? What's missing? Is the tension good enough? Do our heroes manage to do what they need to do? It's coming along nicely. Is that alcohol?
What did you do on season 1?
What did I do in season 1? Many things. Many things. Did a bit of sound recording, did a bit of driving, just helped out generally.
I had read a great feature script that Ash had written, so I suggested we bring him in too.
I'm very, very much love characters, and that was one of the main things I sort of asked coming in. What can we do with the characters? What can we add to them? What are the interactions are going to be like? Growing relationships, things like that. Because I always thought in the background it would be nice to build up, because I did write that scene in the old outline of where Hunter has a confrontation with the Master.
How are you guys feeling?
Episode 5.
We'll get there.
We have come to the pub to aid in our cogitations.
Cheers.
For the Retha, it was all 40 people in the
But he
camp.
also just generally has to go.
Reintroducing the Hunter.
We've been talking about episode 5 all day. All day. Time for lunch break.
We're all gonna pass out from my food coma.
Kate's just finished typing up an outline of the episode. Not that we haven't written. I think
Actually,
it's
not
been written a few times before.
Not
the whole
even, because I've
script.
written half of it because some of it's already written. So.
Yeah, and we're also talking about extending our stay here for an extra night.
3 weeks.
So
Help us.
no one's
Don't
no
help.
no one.
Help. Let's go.
Care packages. By the end of the weekend, someone might get stabbed.
We have given up on writing for the day to play.
Buffy! We are learning about writing from Buffy. Monster of the Week, anyone?
Yeah.
It's Monday. We extended our stay by a day because we haven't finished yet, and now there's nothing left to eat but cake.
We had done a whole outline of all of the changes that we wanted to do on episode 5, and today we split up and spent 2 hours working on one little scene or chunk each, and it was just very cool. And then we came back and we read it through at about midday, and we had pretty much an episode. Ten's eyes grow wide as he sees the mark on her forehead. It came together in such a smooth way that just was like, yep, we're all on the same page, we're all writing as a team now, which is very cool.
How do you feel at the end of the writer's retreat?
Tired. Good.
What I found really interesting is how just the process of doing much more writing and with others, the confidence of writing is definitely increased, and the idea of staring at a blank page hasn't been as scary anymore.
It felt like all the hard work we put in all weekend had come together, all the threads had come in place, everything had been knotted into this big tapestry, and we'd created something amazing, and it was a really great feeling.
Everything's there, and I just can't wait for it to be shot and the actors speak the lines.
What else are you looking forward to?
Showing an audience season 2, and then season 3. We need your help because we're going to be running a crowdfunder, and we can't do that without support. So basically, if you haven't yet, please sign up to the Renew Ren mailing list, because that is how we're going to get our show funded. If you enjoyed season 1, you're definitely going to enjoy season 2.